Hey everybody, Trisha Callahan here from Once a Month Meals, coming to talk to you about stockpiling. It is a hot topic right now, and I do not want to get into whether you feel like we should be stockpiling, whether you whatever. Of course, when your kid calls you in the middle of your live, hold on just a second, because I really do have to answer this. See, this is real life, people. Hello? It's Olivia. Can you call Olivia? Awesome. All right, we're live. Sorry, live Instagrammers, we got a phone call. So guess what? I'm a mom too. And so these are all things that we're facing. So probably food is on your mind, food prep, making it several weeks. There's a lot of topics about making it several weeks and things like that. And one of the reasons we're coming to you live to talk about stockpiling, because that's what we do. That's what we do. I am frequently known as the hoarder of freezer meals because when they announce that we might need to stay put for a while, or they might encourage us to stay in one place, I have a freezer full of meals. And I think a lot of Once a Month Meals members should be able to attest to having the same thing. And so we want to talk about stockpiling today. We want to talk about if you have, if you're experiencing this, I would love to know what part of the country you're in. I know a lot of us are going on 2 and 3 week spring breaks for our kids, or extended time off, or things like that. And so we're all kind of faced with this idea of stockpiling. Now, I am not going to get into fear-based conversations or anything and encouraging that, but if stockpiling is on your mind, we have a lot of resources, and we want to point you to one in particular that we are putting out there for free. It's a meal plan that is typically part of our membership and something that is purchased, but we are making it free for the foreseeable future. It is a stockpiling meal plan. So it's 10 recipes that'll double to 20 meals that you can assemble, put together in about an hour. We have a whole video where we actually put it together in an hour, if you don't believe us. And for when we did that, we actually got all of those ingredients for a family of 4. So 20 meals for a family of 4 for $100. So you can do it. You can do it on a budget. It won't break your bank. You can opt into that at any time. We want to make that available to you, and we'll continue to reference that as part of what we talk about today. But whether you're a Once a Month Meals member, or you're just out there trying to make your resources stretch during what is going to be an economically hard time and a resource hard time, we want to talk to you about the importance of stockpiling and give you some tips today to take away. So tag your friends, bookmark this, share it, save it so that you can watch it. If you are in a busy moment and you can't watch now, please save it for later. You can come back and watch. We'll make this live, and we are here to answer all of your questions as well. This is what we do. We want you to think about whether there's stockpiling is important, whether it is a global pandemic for coronavirus, or it's simply just life. Because reality happens. We never know when something like an illness is going to happen, or a loved one is going to get sick, or we may have some ebbs and flows in our job or busy season. It doesn't really matter. Like these meals are going to be very helpful for you. And if you're stockpiling meals, I feel like when we're hearing these stories about people stockpiling, and what we're hearing is what toilet paper, and we laugh about that, but you can't eat toilet paper, and you have to actually eat something to be able to use the toilet paper, just so you know. And then we're like, I've heard people say, well, stock up on rice and stock up on whatever. And I'm like, those are ingredients. What are you going to do with those ingredients in 3 weeks when you don't have milk and you don't have protein and you don't have those kind of things? And then what do you do when you go to the grocery store to stockpile some of these things and they're not available? And so we want to help you to be able to effectively stockpile and effectively having not just ingredients, but meals at the ready, because it's convenient to have these freezer meals, but it's also sort of really helpful that you don't have to buy additional ingredients if you've done these. The other thing, there's something that I just lost my train of thought on. The other thing is, let's hope, let's really collectively hope that we don't have to be in a quarantine, that we don't have to be isolated for weeks on end. That would be our collective hope and what we would want to put our minds to. But in the event that we do, then we have meals. In the event that we don't, and this all blows over and we don't have to worry about it, now we have a freezer full of meals that we can still eat and enjoy life on. So we're not going to waste. As of, like, I've heard people saying like they're buying cases of cereal. Okay, great. But what do you do with a case of cereal if you don't have to go anywhere, or it goes bad in the pantry? Like, that is a solution, but it's not a nutritious solution, and it's not whatever. I feel like the other thing that stockpiling does for us is takes our collective energy and puts it to good. Because what's happening right now is we feel like out of control, right? We feel like we can't control whether our kids are out of school. We can't control whether we get this. We can't. There's a lot of things in this world right now that we can't control. But do you know what we can? We can make meals. We can put our resources to good use. We can feel like we are providing for our family and doing something in the moment. If you're not making meals for yourself, you can make them for others. Those people in your life that shouldn't be going out, and you can take them to them. You don't have to rely on meal delivery service and all of those things. Stockpiling your freezer gives you freedom. It gives you freedom and peace of mind. And that's what we want to talk about today, is how to get more freedom and more peace of mind in a short amount of time with a low budget. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. If you have questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. Kelsey is manning this for me as we talk, and I'm just going to talk to you about stockpiling and all the things that we can do. I am on Instagram. Hey, everybody on Instagram. Thank you for joining us there. I also want to look at the comments a little bit so I make sure that I'm paying attention. There's lots of resources. As we said before, we have an opt-in for you. It's a free meal plan. It'll be sent to you in a PDF. If for some reason it'll be sent to you in 2, 4, or 8 servings, it is either for your slow cooker or your Instant Pot. You will be sent both. So depending on what you want to do, if you own an Instant Pot, you should follow the Instant Pot directions, because if you freeze those Instant Pot recipes that way and you decide you want to put them in your slow cooker, you can easily adapt. It is harder to adapt from slow cooker to Instant Pot, vice versa. That free opt-in gives you a grocery list. You can literally go to the grocery store tonight in an hour and get all of these groceries that you need. It's a full list, even the serving day ingredients. So the ingredients that you're going to need when you fix these meals will be on that list, and you can go ahead and buy those now. We're going to preserve those. We're going to put them in the refrigerator. We're going to put them in the freezer so that 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now, we can still access those meals and they won't have gone to waste. If you get to the grocery store and you find that they don't have some of these ingredients, we're going to talk about tips for how to handle that as well. In addition to a grocery list, you're going to have a prep list. So you're going to go to the grocery store, you're going to buy the groceries that it says that you need. These 10 recipes are simple ingredients. Some of you are going to get up in arms that they have cream of something soup or whatever. We're not getting picky here, all right? I know some of you have allergies, and if that's the case, you can go over and access once a month meals and talk to our customer service about adaptions and or becoming a member. But these are very simple recipes, 5 ingredients and less. They have very simple prep. So you're not going to be dicing a ton of onions, a ton of broccoli, all of that kind of stuff. You are going to do some prep, but they are meant, these 10 recipes, 20 meals are meant to be done and assembled in about an hour or 2, even if you're slow. Your kids are going to be home from school. Get them involved. It's a great way to get the whole family making meals together and doing something collectively together. If you feel like and you have the resources to make these meals for other people, do it. Like if you have access to those groceries and those things, please, you can gift these meals. We want people to know it. So please make sure other people know about this free resource that you can use. You're going to prep. Sorry, I'm off track. Then it's going to give you step-by-step instructions for assembling those based on the servings that you chose, what amounts of ingredients you need, what containers you need. And you can do it as simple as gallon freezer bags. You can do it in round containers. There are resources available to you out there, and we're going to talk about those. There are also labels to put on there, so you know exactly what to do. All the things that you need are in that free resource for you. So please take advantage of that. Okay, so let's talk about stockpiling and our stockpiling tips. There's a couple posts that are doing really well for us right now and that you might be interested in accessing. One is what you can and cannot freeze. There is a long list. There are a lot of things that the internets will tell you cannot freeze, and there's pretty much nothing that we think can't be frozen. Dairy, rice, pasta, you name it, it can be frozen. Just think about it. Walk down your freezer aisle. If lean cuisine can do it, you can do it without the preservatives and the not natural ingredients. You can do it for healthy. So this is a great opportunity for us to raise our awareness about how important and great freezer food can be. In fact, freezer vegetables. So if you're going, I'm skipping, this is a tip I'm doing early on. I'll repeat it later. But if you go to the produce section and all of a sudden all the produce is gone, go to the freezer section, get the produce there. They are freezing it at peak nutritional value. And so it's actually more nutritious in the freezer aisle than it is in the produce section. So don't forget that either. Okay, the other one is egg substitutes. Now, there's not a shortage of eggs right now, but should you not be able to get out and get eggs, there is an egg substitutes guide for all kinds of things that you could use instead of ingredients, all that kind of stuff. So those two resources. Okay, stockpiling tips. Number one, keep your recipe simple. That opt-in that we just gave you is like 5 ingredients or less. Keep it simple. Go through and pick some recipes. Don't just go to the grocery and buy a bunch of crap and put it in your cart, because then you're going to be a week from now. Let's just say you can't leave and you shouldn't leave and you should stay at home and you have all of these ingredients, but no meals. And you're like, oh gosh, I didn't get oil, or I didn't get sour cream, or I didn't get whatever. Think about it. Take a few moments before you head to the grocery store, or print this resource out for yourself and keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. This is not the time to try new recipes and all of that kind of stuff, but you all knew that, right? So that's the biggest. It's just keep it simple, keep it light, keep it fun. Don't make this doomsday. Like, these are great resources. These are great skills. These are great resources to have available to you at any time, no matter what is happening in life. Number 2, make substitutions, swap things out, or simply leave them out. A lot of people, I know somebody who was posting at Costco, all the meat's gone. Or you get to your grocery store and they're sold out of chicken breasts. Okay, let's substitute chicken thighs. Let's substitute chicken wings. Let's substitute bone-in chicken. We just have to eat around the bones. That's okay. Let's substitute pork chops instead of chicken. Roasts are easily swappable. If you have a recipe that calls for a beef roast and they're all out of beef roast and all they have is pork roast, or let's just say it's on sale and it's discounted, you can do that too. So don't forget about substitutions. Don't get to the grocery store with your grocery list and panic because one of the ingredients is not there. Simply embrace what it is and think, okay, what could I substitute? Other substitutions, rice, you can substitute quinoa or lentils or some other product for pasta and rice. I probably have other ones here. Kelsey, do you remember flour types? If it calls for whole wheat flour, but you have coconut flour, you can substitute that. So just kind of think outside the box. I know some of us like to follow just along, but don't forget substitutions. Again, I'm looking ahead to see if I'm skipping my points. So that's what I'm doing here. Number 3 is to keep similar items, combine similar items. So I'm looking at the notes because Kelsey helped me here. Half the amount of flour, add in. So you get to making these things. It's a week or 2 from now. You're like going to make something and you only have half a cup of almond flour and you need a cup. Do you have coconut flour? Do you have some other things? You could substitute different cooking oils. If you have questions about substituting anything on our grocery list, you can ask our customer support at any time or in our community if you're a member, because that is something that we want to help you with. And we are really good at substitutions, like really good. There's nothing we haven't substituted. Keep your produce seasonal. Again, if you weren't here a few minutes ago, when I was talking about produce, the produce in your freezer section is more in season than the produce on the produce shelves in most cases, unless you're purchasing at a farmer's market. So if you get into the grocery store, in fact, I often substitute diced onions from the freezer section, diced onions and peppers, chopped broccoli, all of that kind of stuff will help you reduce the prep time that you have for making these meals. Turn whole into parts. So you could take a whole chicken. They're all wiped out of chicken breasts. Go buy the whole chicken and then let's cook it. Let's take the chicken off of the bone. Let's make bone broth. There's lots of ways to stretch. We have plenty of blog partners, affiliates and posts on how to stretch out ingredients too. So don't panic when you get there and they don't have the exact item that you're looking for. We can help you. We're literally, you can just pull us up on your phone and ask us the question. I'm at the grocery store and they're all out of chicken. Do you think I could buy pork? Do you think I could whatever? We are going to have extended customer support hours through the weekend because we know a lot of you are gearing up for what might be some time at home. And so this is a great weekend to do that. Again, also, don't bombard the grocery store with all the craziness. Like just be light and free. Remember, like when you go in with your grocery list, like you're prepared, you're doing things, you're taking action, you have this positive way about you. Be kind to the people in the grocery store. Be kind to the people checking out that are needing to work. Being kind to the people that are stocking and restocking those shelves. Be kind to your fellow grocery people. Like, let them know about this great resource. Our energy and our emotions under control so that we are bringing positive and doing something good. And then, like, if we have these meals and we don't need them, we can also gift them. That's another great thing. Choose. We already talk about choosing fresh over frozen. Buy in bulk or in batches. Costco is being overrun right now, so you may want to actually avoid Costco. I was funny because I had a friend who was at Costco yesterday and reported that they were all out of meat, but yet I was at Aldi and they had plenty. And I was at Kroger. So you may, in this particular season, want to think about other places other than Costco for purchasing that. There are, I feel like I'm missing some tips that I meant to say. What were they? Do you guys have tips? Oh, making meatless. Yes, I just skipped over it on my thing. I overlooked it. Making it meatless. So doing bean meals and things like that. Substituting things for the meat to make it more economical. I'm telling you, that opt-in that we just gave you, I did it for a family of 4, 20 meals for $100. So you can do it. You really can. So it's really, really important. So, okay. So those are our major tips. What we really want you to do is to think about how stockpiling can empower you and how having those meals ready gives you some peace of mind to know that you have meals, even if you need to stay at home or when your kids are going cray-cray at the house. So also it's a good home ec lesson to do these meals. You know, I have some meat here, some things that I bought. So I went to the grocery store yesterday and bought a few things and know that I can make meals. At Once a Month Meals, we have this free opt-in that you can use and utilize, as well as if you want to be able to make more meals like this, or you need to make some adaptations, or you need to make, your family has some specific dietary guidelines, or you would like more discretion, you can actually access membership at this time in order to get a membership. If you have questions about that, you can consult our customer service. I'm not going to focus on that right now because what I really want to focus on with this is empowering us to stockpile and understand how empowering freezer cooking can be for us in any time, not just in a global pandemic, but also in a time of just somebody is diagnosed, you're diagnosed with an illness, or you have something come up at work that you need to be there. So, you know, let's think about, like, we have a lot of emergency personnel who are going to need to be out and about. They're going to be working more. We have a lot of people who are we have a lot of people who are working from home, but we also have other people that are called to work overtime. I was just, I had some Delta flights that I had to deal with yesterday, and just calling them up, and I'm like, you're a busy lady. I bet you're working a lot of overtime. And I think that's the case for all of us. I think a lot of us just need something to do to pour our energy in. And I think this is one of the most wonderful ways you can do it, is preserving meals and not just ingredients. So containers. Dollar Tree, do you have a Dollar Tree, a Dollar General near you? They usually have like 2 containers for $1 or 1 container. These are the ones that we do the Instant Pot in. I don't want it. We have tons and tons of posts over on the site for you to access about Instant Pot and how to freeze. You don't necessarily have to freeze in these round containers, but it does help so that you don't have to defrost the meals. So we recommend those as well. There are some you can get on Amazon, but if you're wanting to cook tonight and you don't have Amazon now, that's an option. These are great for single serving. I purchased these for myself because I'm making a lot of single servings these days. And so these are really good for taking meals to others as well. So there's that. We have whole posts. I know some of you don't like to use plastic. That's fine. You can use glass, but that's not the most economical choice in the environment right now. I mean, I know it's environmentally friendly, but what I'm saying is you might not have access to glass containers, and I would hate for you to not put food away because that's one of your obstacles. And also please don't pass judgment on all of our users that are. So let's be kind to one another. Let's talk about how we can empower and stockpile. Our members have a great wealth of knowledge too about freezer cooking. We've been here at Once a Month Meals for 11 years, and beyond that, I've been freezer cooking for over 15 years. And we have a lot of tips and tricks to make this easy, fun. It can be fun. It really can be fun to make these meals and to feel like you're doing something. One of the best things you can do for your kids is get them involved and feel like they have power over something. You know, my kids are coming home from school and they're talking about coronavirus this and coronavirus that, and are we going to die and all of those kind of things. And it's like, no, let's focus on what we can do. And what we can do is make some meals so that we have them ready for either ourselves or to take to I'm trying to think, Kelsey, are there any questions that people have been asking that you really think would be helpful for me to cover? I don't want to make this too long, but I want to make sure that people are.
No, Kayla just asked, when can we sign up? Can we sign up for membership again? Yeah.
Yes, you actually can sign up for membership. We actually were preparing for this. We were going to release it next week to be open on the regular, but in consideration of what we have going on here and wanting to be available to empower people with the resources. There are plenty of free resources on Once a Month Meals. So if you can't afford that or you're watching your pennies, you can access the free resource of that opt-in as well as many, many other pages on our site. Just go to the blog section and you'll see lots and lots of posts on how to empower you and recipes that you can use and access to make more freezer meals. But if you are looking and have wanted to be a Once a Month Meals member and you want us to do all the work for you, we do have a database of over 12,000 recipes that you can choose from. We will ask you to be very careful if you're just starting out with freezer cooking. The meal plan that we are making available for free is for beginners and is for beginners. I think sometimes people get really anxious, like I'm going to do 30 meals and you end up making them really complicated. If you're going to do 20 or more meals, like we suggest that you ask our customer a service person which meal plans are right for you, because we don't want you getting overwhelmed in the process. So yes, you can. We're not focused on that with this live. We really just want to empower people for stockpiling. Please be sure to share this with other people. Share this on your social media. We want people to have access to this meal plan. And then as you cook it, if you cook it, will you please tag us? Kelsey, can you remind me what the hashtag? I know we do OAMM and Once a Month Meals. Do you remember what the Stock Your Freezer? Stock Your Freezer is the hashtag we're using for this. So stock your freezer. So if you've stocked your freezer, please go over there and show that. Also post on, can you do it in an apartment freezer? This is an apartment freezer. My apartment freezer is full. I did just buy, I have lived in this apartment for 3 months, and I did just buy a freezer because I couldn't take it any longer. It is the first time that I've lived without a freezer for 3 months. And I just bought a 5.6 cubic foot. It was available at Home Depot. I just went and picked it up. I did an online order, picked it up, and it's over there and staged and ready for me to put some meals in. It's in my laundry room. It fits in my apartment. So you don't need a big freezer. You could get a small freezer. You might be thinking, well, that's an investment. Well, it's an investment that keeps on paying. In fact, I was just talking to Anna. Anna is our Freeze It Forward winner from last summer, who we purchased her a freezer and went and cooked 30 meals for her and a friend. And we were just talking yesterday, and she was like, I don't know how I ever lived without this deep freezer. It is a long-term investment because you will be using that over and over, and it gives you the opportunity to buy ingredients when they're on sale or you have access to them and put meals away for another day. So again, we're here at Once a Month Meals to answer all of your questions. You can go over to onceamonthmeals.com. You can go into the bit.ly.com OAMM stockpiling and get your free meal plan resource. But we're here to help you and empower you to stockpile meals during the season. So we hope that you'll take that chance, that you will do that. You will let us know how it's going, and that you will help us empower others, because your freezer is a really unsung hero in your kitchen. There's a lot of things you can do with your freezer that you just forget about. So don't just fill your pantry up with resources. Fill your freezer, okay? All right, thank you everybody. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you have found this really helpful.